Hello guys, it's Friday, January 10th. We have a big 10-game NBA slate for today. Starting off at point guard, Luka Doncic is 12.6K. Um, Depending on Anthony Davis, whether he plays or not, is going to dictate whether I want him in my ownerships, in my player pool, because if Anthony Davis doesn't play, then LeBron James is just significantly cheaper. And in the same game, I think he definitely can have the same kind of ceiling that Luka has, and you're just saving $1,600, which on a big slate like this definitely can get you, one or two some upgrades in your lineup. So I would prefer LeBron if Anthony Davis were to miss, and then Trae Young, 10.4K, excellent matchup against the Wizards. Ish Smith, Isaiah Thomas, they both definitely can't guard Trae Young. And this game being at Washington, Atlanta's not that great either of a team, so it should be fast paced. It's not, a matchup of two like great teams, so there should be a lot of scoring in this one. Not really a whole lot of defense being played. So I do think Trae Young's still definitely an option, even though he is finally a five-digit price tag. Next, Darren Fox at 7.5K. The Kings are still pretty short-handed, and it is a tough matchup against the Bucks. Eric Bledsoe is a really solid defender, but De'Aaron Fox's price, it's affordable, 7.5K. I think it's definitely a little cheap because of the role, the usage that Fox has to carry on this team, but just gonna be a guy that I'm gonna have in my player pool. Next, Lonzo Ball, 7,300 at Madison Square Garden here, so maybe there's like a little bit of a narrative. And Lonzo, he's just gonna be asked to carry a whole lot of usage along with Brandon Ingram without Drew Holiday still. And the Knicks, certainly they're not a team that we should be afraid of, so still Lonzo is going to be very much in play as a guy that can produce and everything, so you don't need him to have a huge shooting night to be productive. Next, going to be in the same game, Elfrid Payton, 6.3K. The Pelicans haven't been that great of a defense because just they play so fast. There's a lot of possessions, a lot of points to go around. And the Knicks should be shorthanded here. We already know Randall is out. Marcus Morris is currently questionable. So Payne could be asked to carry a lot more of the offensive load, along with whoever else that they're going to have in this one. Bobby Portis, RJ Barrett. And Elfrid Payton's a guy that definitely has triple-double upside. He's shown it in the past, just last season. And the price is up now, so I think that's gonna be able to keep his ownership down. And you can definitely see, a crazy game. Like if he were to get 50 DraftKings points, I would not be surprised. So, a guy that I would have in my player pool. Next is going to be Eric Bledsoe, 6.3K as well against the Kings. He's gonna play some solid minutes now. He's not gonna be on his minutes restriction. So 6,300 against the Kings. The Kings again, they've been trying to play a lot faster, so this isn't that much of a pace down spot as it may seem. So with Fox in there, they just play faster. Eric Bledsoe's definitely going to be able to benefit just because the Bucks are so well rounded here, and I believe George Hill is actually. Let me actually make sure on that. He's actually going to play. I believe there is. I'm not sure if there's a Buck that's going to rest because that's something that I've been doing lately, but. Regardless, Eric Bledsoe, 6,300 just remains a little bit too cheap because he is playing some pretty solid minutes here. Doesn't appear he's going to be on restriction anymore, so I like him. Next, Ish Smith, 5,700, because the matchup is just phenomenal against the Hawks. Ish Smith plays pretty well right now with Bradley Beal. Obviously, if Beal is out, then that's why all the Wizards are going to be appealing. If Beal's in, then I'm not going to really want Ish Smith. He's just totally not going to be on my radar along with all the other Wizards players. But he just makes sense. It's a great matchup once again. Gonna have a lot of pieces of this game if Bradley Beal is out. And then Aaron Holiday, not really something that I'm going to want a lot if Malcolm Brogdon is going to play for this one. Currently, it looks like Brogdon has definitely a good shot at playing, and the Bulls are a pretty solid defense. Next, Patrick Beverley, he's 5K without Paul George in this one. Maybe he gets a few extra shots, but Beverly's just a guy that can fill it up in a lot of categories. He's not going to be scoring the ball a whole lot, but it is a pretty nice matchup against the Warriors here, so he remains pretty affordable. And then to value, Rajon Rondo and Isaiah Thomas, two guys, 4 and 3.9K. If Anthony Davis is going to be out, Rondo probably has to carry more of a load here. He probably gets more minutes as well. So I like Rondo as a value play at 4K, and Isaiah Thomas, 3,900 now. He's just too cheap. His minutes are inconsistent. His production's inconsistent as well. But if he just starts well, he definitely has a shot at earning more minutes to close the game. So he just makes sense at 3,900. He's a guy that definitely can 10x his price tag if he gets the minutes. So you just kind of want some tournament exposure to him. On to shooting guard is Devin Booker, 8,400. Even in a tough match against Orlando, significant pace down spot, solid defense in Orlando. Aaron Gordon could possibly be missing this game, so that's going to be another hit to the defense. DJ Augustine is currently doubtful, so along with Jonathan Isaac, obviously, there's just a lot of injuries off from Kaminu. So Devin Booker's been just really productive lately. The price is down, obviously, because of the matchup, but he still remains a very viable option, 8,400. Zach LaVine, 8,300. Malcolm Brogdon could be back here, but it's probably going to be like Jeremy Lamb guarding him. So the Pacers, they're definitely a solid defense, but LaVine's just carrying the offensive load here, and without Wendell Carter Jr., they're starting like that young at the 4. Maybe they start Daniel Gafford because the Pacers do have Sabonis and Miles Turner, so maybe they try to put in more size for the lineup. But regardless, Zach LaVine, definitely an option you should consider, 8,300. And then Donovan Mitchell, 8,200. There's definitely some blowout risk here, but Mitchell, he's just in a good spot, regardless if you want to think it's a blowout or not. Definitely has a pretty solid ceiling here, 8,200. He just remains like a really solid option without Mike Conley in, so a guy that I'm going to have in my player pool most likely. Next is going to be Buddy Hield, 6,600 against the Bucks. We know how we like to target the Bucks with 3-point shooters, and Buddy Hield, he always attempts like around 10 at least, and this is certainly a matchup that they're going to need a scoring. He should be able to get his looks. It's just the way the Bucks defensive game plan is designed. So 6,600 remains a little bit too cheap in my opinion here, so it's going to be a pretty nice tournament play in my opinion. And then next, Jordan McRae, 6,500. Troy Brown's actually $100 more expensive than McRae, so I'll probably have more McRae in this one. Obviously, as long as Bradley Beal is out. If Beal is out, I'm going to have a pretty solid amount of McRae. And then Alec Burks, 5,900, just because if D'Angelo Russell is out, all these Warriors are going to have to do a whole lot more shots to go around. Jeremy Lamb, 5,900 in the event that Malcolm Brogdon is out. Seems a little bit, a little cheap. Should be able to get his minutes here, so I like him. And then RJ Barrett might be a little popular if Marcus Morris is out as well, because it is a terrific match against the Pelicans. Might want to go with more Alfred Payne actually, because he does seem to get more peripherals than RJ, but certainly you're getting a pretty good amount of savings if you go with RJ Barrett. And then onto small forward, LeBron, top option on the slate for me if Anthony Davis were to miss. 11K, really affordable. We can definitely see just a battle of LeBron against Luka in this one without Porzingis and Anthony Davis. So, gonna be one of my highest owned players most likely if AD is out. And then Jimmy Butler at 8K against Brooklyn. It is a pretty solid pace-up spot. Brooklyn's not that great on the defensive end, and Butler's just a guy that does everything. 8K, you need him to get 40 for 5x. I think that he can certainly get that, and definitely there's upside of 60 here. So I do like Jimmy Butler quite a bit here. Doesn't look like he's going to be too high owned, so very good tournament play. And then DeMar DeRozan, he's been a really solid cash play, but definitely there's upside for tournaments. He is 7,200, still remains too cheap. He's just been so consistent lately, and his minutes are there. He just scores. He's so efficient too. Just even with Murray in, he's still getting a lot of assists. And because he is a small forward now, he just gets rebounds, and he's not going to be a huge defensive stats guy, but he's just really consistent. He's the main option on the Spurs along with Aldridge, so I really like him. It is a pace-up spot as well. And then Troy Brown Jr. along with Jordan McRae, obviously 6,600, just in a terrific matchup with Bradley Beal is out. And then if Marcus Morris were to play in this one, probably wouldn't be on a limit because he only has missed like 1 or 2 games, I believe. Excellent matchup without Randall. He's going to have a whole lot of usage go his way. So just kind of wait and see on whether he plays. Draymond Green, just another Warrior, just like last slate against the Bucks. They're going to need a lot of players to play well here if they're going to keep it close against the Clippers. So Draymond Green makes sense. And then TJ Warren, 5,700. He was ejected last game, but if Brogdon were to miss, he's going to definitely have a whole lot of usage, a whole lot of shots for him to take. Joe Ingles, 5,600 against the Hornets. He's just a guy that can do a little bit of everything. Without Conley, he's still going to be a pretty solid ball handler. And his price is going down a little bit, so I like him. He definitely has 40-point upside, so interest in him. Josh Hart, 5,100. he's still affordable. He's still going to be a value play because of Drew Holiday being out. Should see like 30 plus minutes, and the Knicks, again, they're not anything to be afraid of, and the Pelicans always play fast. And then next is going to be Glenn Robinson, just another Warrior. He's affordable. We can play him at a lot of different positions. And then Terrence Ross, a value play, because if Augustine were to miss, Michael Carter-Williams is out. They're going to need somebody to ball handle, somebody to score. So Terrence Ross makes sense, especially as well if Aaron Gordon were to miss this game. They're going to need more scoring. They can't just go to Vucevic and Markelle Fultz and Evan Fournier. So Ross, it definitely looks like that he could pick up some more usage. Could be in a very good spot with pace-up spot against the Suns, and if all these injuries definitely go towards Ross's way. And then on to power forward, Giannis definitely in play. He's always going to be in play. He's 11.1K. Seems a little bit cheap. The Kings, they have a lot of bigs injuries, so Giannis could definitely be able to feast on the boards here. Definitely going to be more of not a priority because of LeBron being $100 cheaper, with AD possibly being out, and Luka, I think I would maybe have him ahead of Giannis as well if AD were to miss, because there's going to be no rim protection, or there's still going to be McGee and Dwight, obviously, but just the defense is going to take a hit. And then Anthony Davis, if he were to play, depending on when the news comes out, possibly you can get him pretty low owned. So makes sense. But the Lakers are on a back-to-back, so possibly that AD just kept out on this one. But if you don't know, you may maybe take a shot on him and try to like late swap. Next, John Collins, 8,500 against the Wizards, along with Trae Young. They're just the two guys that are going to be getting all the usage here. Kevin Huerter picking up a lot of minutes, so him as well. But Collins, 8,500, just it's a terrific matchup for bigs against the Wizards, and the game should be close. A lot of scoring expected in this one, so I do like Collins, 8,500. You could play him at a lot of positions. And then Marcus Aldridge, 7,400. He had a very solid game last time. Usually a guy that I like to play more when he's at home, but just the pace up spot, Aldridge, he's been so consistent this year, so you definitely should consider him. And then Bobby Portis, I think he's still in play as long as Marcus Morris is out. It's a very good pace up spot, and if Morris were to miss, that's just a whole lot of usage that opens up. Portis is a guy that is willing to take a whole lot of shots. He just chucks them up, and he's definitely a guy that can get you a double-double. 6,400 just seems a little bit cheap still even. He's not going to be high owned at all because he's just so much more expensive this time around, but I think he's still definitely worth a shot. And then next is going to be Lauri Markkanen, 6,100. I would prefer him if he were to start at center again with Thad Young at power forward. Would like him a lot less if they start Gafford this time at center, but Markkanen, I just like him at center because he's going to have a lot more rebounding opportunity, and this is certainly a matchup that could favor that with Sabonis and Miles Turner in there. And his price is coming down, 6,100. He is probable, so he didn't play all. I think he was in foul trouble last time. That's why I only got 29 minutes, and so I think he definitely can shoot a little bit better. And without Wendell Carter in this one, he definitely can have a solid game. Definitely some nice upside at that price tag. And then Davis Bertans, 5,900. He is going to be back. Maybe there's a minutes restriction because he has missed a couple weeks. But it's a terrific matchup. He's just such a great shooter and just a ton of upside if he's able to play some pretty heavy minutes here. And then next is going to be a value, Khem Birch. If Aaron Gordon were to miss, that most likely would mean Birch. His minutes are just going to be more solidified. In the event that Gordon is able to play, I think Birch could still start power forward just to match him and Vucevic versus Baines and DeAndre Ayton. So Birch, he should probably see close to 30 minutes or possibly more, especially if Aaron Gordon is out. And he's a guy that can get you a double-double. He's only 4,100, so if he's able to come close to the double-double, certainly going to be able to get you value. On to center, Nikola Vucevic going to be a top play against the Suns, even though they do have some good size in there, but he's just a little bit too cheap. The Suns have been pretty nice this year, but especially if Aaron Gordon were to miss, and with Augustine out as well, the way they stagger their rotation, they're going to need Vucevic scoring out there. If Gordon were to miss, there's just so much scoring that's going to go around here, and I think Vucevic, we can definitely see a game where he attempts like 20 shots, and I do think that he might be a little bit overlooked because people are trying to pay up for LeBron and maybe some other guys, so I like Vucevic. I think he's going to be too low owned considering the situation if Gordon were to miss. Rudy Gobert, I would definitely favor Vucevic over Gobert if Gordon were to be out. There's some blowout risk again, but this is a very solid matchup. He's priced up for it though, so there's some concern with that. But Gobert, he's just again, a lock for double-double. So, there's nothing really to fear other than just blowout. Next, Bam Adebayo, I do like him quite a bit. The Nets just give up so much production to the center position. Bam's a guy that just can produce in like every category, so I really do like him. Pace up spot as well. And then Montrezl Harrell with Paul George being out. That means it's going to be more Lou Will with Harrell, and we know how well those two play alongside each other. And then obviously Kawhi, but Kawhi is pretty priced up. The Warriors, they're just not a great team this season, and Harrell, he's a guy that has like 40, 50 point upside, and his price is definitely affordable with Paul George being out. And then Jonas Valanciunas, I probably prefer Harrell, but Joe Val's a guy that doesn't really see that many minutes, but maybe, he stays out of foul trouble or Jaren Jackson gets into foul trouble. We all know his foul troubles that he has, but Valanciunas, they're going to need some size out there. Brandon Clark possibly could play some big minutes if JJJ were to be out, but Valanciunas, he's just a guy that can have a double-double pretty easily, and he's just so productive, so makes sense for tournaments, obviously. He's always really low-owned. And then Miles Turner, his price is up now, 6,100. But if Sabonis were to miss, definitely that's a whole lot of usage that opens up, especially if Brogdon were to be out too. Miles Turner, I think he gets like an 8% boost when those guys are out. So Miles Turner, his price is up, but remember, this is a terrific matchup against the Bulls. They've been absolutely abused by centers all season long. So 6,100, even the price is up there for Miles. He's a guy that definitely can smash here. And then for value, Daniel Gafford, if he were to start, I think he's interesting, 5,100, because they're going to need size out there, especially if Sabonis were to miss. And then Dwayne Dedmon, 4,500 against the Bucks. He's a guy that can definitely stretch the floor, and he played a good amount. He had a pretty solid second half, so he actually closed. He played a lot of minutes straight over Harry Giles, and if they were to continue to only have Dedmon and Giles be elite size, their bigs, Dedmon certainly could be in play here. Definitely can see some good three-point attempts. Not the best shooter, but he can take those. And the Bucks, we know, again, just the three-point funnel. And then JaVale McGee, I like him definitely over Dwight because he's a lot cheaper. If AD were to miss, they're going to definitely need McGee. They're going to need size, and McGee obviously is going to benefit because AD does play some center minutes, so he's going to be in a good spot here against Dallas. They're going to need McGee and Dwight probably to split center minutes, but he's just a lot cheaper, and he definitely has the same kind of shot blocking ability. Pretty similar player in terms of just catching lobs, finishing around the rim, so I prefer McGee, just the savings here. And then other guys, Bismack Biyombo possibly, 4,100, because he's cheap, and they're definitely going to need size to go up against Rudy Gobert. And Harry Giles, you can play him at power forward. Obviously, if he were to pick up a start, he probably would get blowout run too, which is certainly possible. He could also finish the game if he's playing well. A lot of volatility in this pick, but just a guy that you can consider if all the injuries are, go Harry Giles' way. So overall in this slate, currently I think LeBron's going to be a top play for me, so I'm going to plug him in. I'm not sure on point guard and small forward for right now, but I just think that he's definitely going to be like one of the top options. And then if AD were to be out, that's going to be value. Obviously Kuzma as well, I didn't mention him, but he is priced up there, but I do think McGee's a top option. And Rondo, maybe I'll put him in, I'm not too sure, but I think other positions, I really want some exposure to that Wizards and Hawks game, whether you get it with like Trae Young. He is expensive. Maybe try to save with John Collins at power forward or at one of your bigs positions, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put in Khem Birch. Obviously, if Aaron Gordon were to be in, then I'm not going to want Birch, but I think Rondo, I'm going to put in him as well as a value play. And Isaiah Thomas, he's just really interesting. He stands out. But I guess I'll put in Jordan McRae for now if Bradley Beal were to miss, because you just want exposure to this game. It's going to be really high scoring. There are going to have to be a lot of things that go wrong in this one. So I'm just not too sure how you could win, if you don't have a piece in this game. And then other guys that I mentioned before that I like, Vucevic is going to be a core play possibly. A Knicks player, definitely a guard. I do kind of favor Alfred Payne because I think he's going to be low owned. I think for cash, maybe just go with RJ, but I just really like these Knicks guards for some reason. I just think the pace, the spot is really nice for them. So I'll put Alfred Payne in. It is I guess something to note that these game times are kind of awkward today. Like 4:15, 6:45 Pacific time. It's like 15 minutes later than usual. I don't know what's going on with ESPN today, but it's just something to know if you're trying to late swap. So for now, I think I'm gonna go with these six. Obviously, there's a lot to monitor. There's a lot of injury news, so make sure you are up to date. Make sure you follow Fantasy Labs on Twitter. I'm trying to gonna give like my feedback on all these injuries news. Obviously, I'll post that on Twitter. At Waffles, link will be in the description below. You can DM me at me on there as always, or you can just comment down below on this video if that's easier for you or to have a Twitter. So as always, good luck on this slate. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and good luck on this slate. Bye.